Lady Charmaine, and today my guests are the stars of Bravo's hit reality show Newlyweds, the first season. And they're here today to talk about the show and a cause close to their heart. I want you to help me welcome Miss Toi and Rouvaun Walker to the show. Welcome.
Thank you.
Well,
Thank you for having us.
You are so welcome. Now, I just want to say, how y'all doing today in the beautiful town of Hayward, California?
We are blessed and highly favored in the beautiful town of Hayward, California.
Amen. So I just wanted to talk to you guys just even about the show, which is great. You know, it's Newlyweds, following some newlyweds in their first year of marriage. And first, how did you even find out about the show?
You know, because I used to be in L.A., I have a few friends who still have their finger on the pulse, and everybody knew I was getting married. So I guess they saw a notice that they were looking for newlyweds getting married around the time we were getting married, and we jumped ahead and sent in our package, and the next thing you know, we were sitting there talking to the execs. So it just kind of went really, really fast after that.
So Rouvaun, what was your experience like being on a show and having cameras follow you?
At first I was excited. It kind of wore me down and love it, and then I guess my second, and we finished it off strong. So it was fun actually. We like our crew. We like the whole production unit. But, something that you don't want to have on camera and all that. So we were conscious about that. But other than that, we had a good time.
Okay. So what was it like for you, Toi, to have cameras following you around? 'Cause, I'm sure there were some days you probably just didn't feel like having a camera in your face. What was it like for you?
Well, with women, it's a little, I think it's a little different because we're always agonizing over a pimple or, whether we look fat in this outfit, or all that kind of silly stuff. And then another thing, I'm not going to get on there without at least a little bit of makeup, or at least that's what I said early on. So my prep time is a whole lot more than my husband, who's, just naturally handsome and can just pop in front of the camera and do what he does. So for me, it was, I got to get my hair, I got to get my, my makeup. And it was just a whole lot more stress for me, I think, than for him. So after a while, I didn't necessarily care if I had on makeup. If you watch the season, you notice about 3/4 of the way through, you've caught me without makeup a few times. So after a while, you're just kind of like, okay, whatever, they're here, let's go for it.
Okay. Now, how did you both meet? I know you guys have a great story, and for those who don't know your story, how did you both even come together? Can you tell us about that, Rouvaun?
Yes, we met in 1996 on America Online in the Black Voices chat room. So we were just chatting about something. I forgot what the topic was, and I think Toi chimed in, and I chimed in. I think she said something witty, and we kept chatting, I guess. And then all of a sudden, I was going down to L.A. I was up here going down to L.A. to visit my mom. I said, hey, I'm be in the area. Let's go out for a date. And we did, and I didn't really have great expectations, but it was the best date I ever had. We instantly had instant chemistry. We talked, had dinner, and then the movie. And then the movie, we kind of made out in the back, and like teenagers, and we were in our 20s at the time. So, we made out, and then, I took her home, and that was
the end of it.
Was it. It was a great day for her as well. I think the reality set in that, the distance was there, and then I was out of work at the time. I was in between jobs and waiting for this other job to call me in. So I was like, I don't know if I can do that. And so lo and behold, fast forward 15 years later, I got the marriage divorce, and then Toi reached out to me on Facebook, again, social media. And after that, I said, hey, I'm coming down to L.A. to visit my mom, but this time I'm bringing my kids. And we went on another date and left the kids at Grandma's house. Pretty much the same thing, and it was like we pressed pause. It was the exact same date from 15 years before, so that's how we met. And we've been together this time ever since. We haven't been away from each. Well, we've been away from each other. We did a long distance relationship, but together after that, we were pretty much inseparable.
Yep.
Oh my God, Toy, how prophetic is this for you? You really had a real computer love.
That's too funny. Right? It was so when my uncle came up with computer love, there was no such thing. And if you think about when computer love came out, there was no video chatting and all of this kind of stuff going on. So it is funny, and I have thought about it many times, and I've laughed with my remaining uncles about it, because it was definitely all through the computer that I found the love of my life. So that is definitely funny.
It's funny, when I did my very first television show, it was on Computer Love, Christians Finding Love Online. And I find it so interesting that your family coined this song that everybody sings, and here you are finding love online yourself. And we know that one of the great songs, More Bounce to the Ounce. Did you inherit any of the musical genes? Do you sing or play an instrument?
I sing and I dabble. And I made an album that I produced by myself a long time ago. It's on iTunes right now. It's my name was Symphony Blue, and the name of the album is Love Addiction. But because of the time that it takes to really devote to your art, if you're really trying to push your record, it takes so much time. So I really didn't have, as a single mom, I really didn't have the time and the resources to really push the record. And I did go on tour. I've toured with Montel Jordan. I was singing background for Keith Washington, and of course Shirley Murdoch. A few people. Kumo D, I did his comeback record. I've done a few things, and I've sang on a lot of the Zapp records too back in the day. So, yeah, I actually do sing, and for a long time, that's all I wanted to do. But, I kind of broadened my scope, and I also write and do some other things to get my creative juices flowing. But, yeah, definitely inherited the creative thing, because both my parents are in music.
Wow. So for you, with you being in a city like Los Angeles, it's booming, popping, got it going on, your creative juices can flow, you're a publicist. What was it like for you to transition from LA to Hayward? First, what was the talk going on in your head to move from LA to Hayward? What was that like?
I teased Ravon because at the time he lived in a city called Castro Valley. Mm-hmm. And I was like, who's ever heard of this place? Like, where is it? What is it near? Like, what's a real city, quote unquote, that it's near?
Hayward.
Right? Or San Francisco is the one you want to lean to, right?
There you go.
So I said, well, I got to get out there, because I had never visited Northern California for anything. I mean, for nothing. So while we were dating, I came out he flew me out for my birthday to San Francisco. We went to dinner. Now, my birthday is in July. Honey, why did I need a winter coat? I was like, yes. You are not going to get me out here in this cold weather. No. But at the end of the day, if you find the perfect guy, you have to go where he is if he can't come to you. Mm-hmm. So, because of the children's ages, there was really no way that he could just pick up and say, okay, come into Los Angeles. So I had to go. It was just like, okay, make a decision based upon the fact that I knew he was the one. I had to just go where he is. So, I sucked it up, but it was hard.
Now, Ravon, how did you actually convince her to move? Did you just say, look, I'm not moving to LA, so you need to make a decision?
Pretty much. I mean, my career is up here, although I think I could transfer down to LA. I'm from LA, so that wasn't it. More so that my children are here and they're at young ages, and I have them 50% of the time, so I'm very much involved in their life. And, I'm committed to them until they graduate. Now, I told my son, who was like 11, like, as soon as you graduate, Daddy's out of here. So, I mean, that's pretty much where we are. My parents are getting older in L.A., and as soon as the kids go there, we would like to transplant it back down there. But at the same time, Toy's establishing herself up here in Northern California pretty well. She's transitioned. When I came up here because I went to Berkeley. It took me like 2 years to get the whole LA thing, out of me. Going to Berkeley, I was from LA. You style, you flash a little bit, and by my junior year, I was in Birkenstocks and T-shirts. You kind of so you kind of transition out of it, and she's not. Towards slowly transitioning too, because she used to wear 5-inch heels, and now she's wearing Uggs a lot more now. So it's funny.
Yeah, I never owned a pair of Uggs till I got here, honey.
So basically, you got real comfortable, because it's so funny when you mention Castro Valley, because years ago, I used to be a mail carrier in Castro Valley years ago. So, and if you don't know anything about Castro Valley, you're like, what, where? And then if you don't know anything about Hayward, so you're right, the closest city is San Francisco. And you were able, Toy, to make a great transition because you own a hair salon there in Hayward. And I wanted to talk to you about that. What even made you even want to go into the hair business? We know it's a multi-million-dollar business, but why did you decide to do it?
Well, it is a multi-million-dollar business, but that wasn't the initial reason, believe it or not. The initial reason was because when I went to look for hair in the day, I couldn't find any that was, of the same quality that I was getting in LA. And, I was like, I need some hair. I got to find some hair. And my husband was like, well, you can't do what you were doing there, so why don't you just do that? Why don't you bring it to the Bay? And, he's smart, which is another reason why he's my husband. And I thought that was a great idea, so we went with it. and here we are. That was initially the reason, was because I really wanted to bring that Hollywood experience to the Bay, because there's so many women here in the area. And, even as far as where you are, Sacramento, even up that far, are like, I know that there's better hair out here. Where can I find it? And I really wanted to create that experience. So our space is unlike any other. We're all about educating our customers. We call them our clients, because everyone that walks in is a client, and we want her to know the difference between this hair and that hair and beauty supply hair. And why it's all different price ranges and what's so unique about ours. And no other store takes the time or even has the desire for you to know what you're buying. So the customers that we serve are so appreciative that we take the time to do that. And by the time they figure out which hair is which, they always want the best one. I think any of us that know what we're buying when we're walking into these beauty supply stores wouldn't buy it. And I think that's how we've basically honed ourselves as, the top of the fastest growing and the top supplier in the Bay.
Wow. Now, I know when you were talking about differences, you also offer something called Indian temple hair. Can you tell us what that is?
Well, Indian temple hair is hair that is donated or sacrificed by the Indian women to the temples. And the temples use the hair as a source of revenue. So they, in turn, sell it to the hair manufacturers. The problem is the hair after that, what happens to it is any number of processes, and that's how you get this processed hair that is so common and popular. For the Indian temple hair that we sell, nothing happens to it between Temple and you, except that it's cleaned, sterilized, and rested. That's it. So that's what Indian temple hair is. Butt naked Indian temple hair is what we call it. Rouvaun, you can thank Rouvaun for the butt naked part. But what that means is that it's literally in its natural naked state. Nothing has been done to the hair other than washing it and conditioning it and then giving it to you. So that's the difference. That's what the temple hair is. It's guaranteed to be directly from a woman's head, one woman per bundle. So therefore, no two bundles are going to look exactly the same.
That is a really good education, because I know we were talking earlier before we started the show and you were talking about that. And I would love one day to give you an opportunity just to come and just educate us on hair. So I want to thank you. But Rouvaun, we know our marriages say till death do us part, and in sickness and in health. And when you married your wife, you knew she was facing a health challenge. And we want to talk about that because, Toi, you have a health challenge called lupus, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so, Rouvaun, when you met her and you realized that she had this health challenge, were you ever kind of hesitant? Like, do I want to marry someone that has this health challenge and be with them for the rest of their life? Or because you loved her so much that it didn't matter, you just had to make her your wife and just be with her for the rest of your life? Did you ever think about anything like that?
No, I didn't really hesitate. I knew that I loved her and it didn't matter. When you think about that stuff, health issues, I could be diagnosed tomorrow with some type of debilitating disease, and I would hope that, my wife would stand by me through that as well. We're all going to go through something at some point in time because we're all human. So, you want to be surrounded by loved ones, and you want people to take care of you, and everybody's going to have their turn, and it's just move forward. But no, it didn't cross my mind at all. I didn't hesitate.
See, that's a blessing. I had a cousin, she was in the military, and she had a stroke. And so she was bound to a wheelchair, and her husband felt he didn't want to deal with that, so he left her and the children. So I want to commend you on that. So that is really a blessing. Because I believe, is it the month of May is a Lupus Awareness Month? Because I know everybody's been having their elbows up on Facebook. Because a friend of mine, she has lupus, and so she's been putting it up on Facebook. And so I want to talk to you both about, so what's next for the both of you? You had a great hit television show. So what's next for you?
We're actually working on a couple of things. We're working on another show. We're working on some producing in terms of the whole showbiz side. And, as far as day-to-day goes, I'm definitely building the brand and working on Renown Hair and opening up another one, hopefully inside of the next year.
And for me specifically, I've been in mortgage banking for 26 years now, and that's what I do. So I'm going to maintain that.
Well, that's a blessing. Well, I just want to say congratulations to the both of you. And we know that God has his hand on you. So many more blessings are going to come. And it was just a pleasure for me to talk to the both of you today. So thank you so much for joining me on the show.
Thank you. It was a pleasure. You're a great interviewer.
Oh, thank you. And I look forward to having you both back.
Anytime. You just let us know.
I sure will.
Lady Charmaine live on Friday night.